What if the most unforgettable part of a superstar is the part no camera has ever been able to keep? What if beauty wasn't just something you see, but something you feel the moment a person enters the room? What if no matter how many photos exist, no matter how many videos loop endlessly online, there's still a version of him that lives only in real life and disappears the second you try to capture it? Because right now, one name keeps coming up in the same quiet, almost odd tone: Jimin. Recently, a simple survey asked fans to choose a star whose charm cameras can't fully capture. It wasn't about popularity, it wasn't about screen time, it was about presence, and the result was overwhelming. With nearly 37,000 votes taking 71% of the total, Jimin didn't just win, he dominated. Not because he's everywhere, but because the people who've seen him in person can't forget him. Again and again, the same stories surface. Different voices, different places, same conclusion. Photos soften him, videos flatten him. And somehow, reality is far more intense. After a Vogue photo shoot, a writer once described sitting face-to-face with Jimin as strange, not uncomfortable, but disarming. She said his frontal close-up beauty was so sculptural, so perfectly balanced, that she felt herself getting pulled in, as if her attention had no choice, as if looking away required effort. She admitted she struggled to come back to her senses. And then she said something that lingered far longer than any fashion spread ever could. You'll fall in love with him even more when you see him in person. That sentence spread quietly among fans, because they already knew it was true. Even people whose jobs require emotional distance couldn't deny it. Veteran bodyguards, professionals who've stood beside countless celebrities over many years, once spoke honestly about what it's like to see Jimin up close. They said they're used to real faces, real skin, real proportions. They know how much cameras exaggerate, but with Jimin, they could immediately tell. Not just handsome, not just attractive, pretty, in a way that feels rare, in a way that makes you pause. And then there are the fans, the ones who stood in stadiums surrounded by noise, lights, and chaos. They didn't talk about choreography first, or outfits, or camera angles. They talked about aura. They said Jimin felt like the main character, even before he moved, even before the music started. They said he was shining, not metaphorically, but physically, as if the light naturally followed him. Some said he looked sculpted, unreal, almost myth-like. Others said he was shockingly wonderful in person. And the same line kept repeating across social media, again and again. You can't capture it. You have to see him live. No photo does him justice. Because what they were reacting to wasn't just appearance. It was the way he holds space, the way he breathes with the music, the way his expressions shift so subtly that cameras miss half of it. Jimin doesn't just perform. He exists on stage. And now, after a silence that felt impossibly long, that existence is about to be witnessed again. On March 21st, BTS will return to the stage as a full group for the first time in nearly 3 years and 9 months at Gwanghwamun Square in the heart of Seoul, a free concert, open to the city, a moment meant not to be exclusive, but shared. It's more than a performance. It's a cultural event, a meeting point between music, history, and people's everyday lives. And at the center of it all, Jimin. Fans are already imagining it. The way his energy will cut through the open air, the way his movements will feel even more alive without walls or ceilings, the way his presence will ripple through a crowd that's waited years to see him again. The world won't miss it either. The concert will be live-streamed to over 190 countries, marking the first time Netflix has ever live-streamed a performance by a single artist. Millions will watch. Millions will replay clips. But those who are there, standing shoulder to shoulder, feeling the sound vibrate through the ground, will understand something deeper. That some artists are photogenic, some are charismatic, some are legendary, but a rare few are uncapturable. And when Jimin steps onto that stage, under the Seoul night sky, with nothing between him and the crowd, the question won't be, why is he so popular? It will be, how did a camera ever make us think this was all there was?